The Presbytery of the Divine Mercy Cathedral under construction takes on a new phase with the decking beginning today. The 10-apartment structure will undergo 3 phases. And in sports, Mark Breeze, head coach of the national team, has released a 31-man provisional list to play Angola and Cape Verde in June and in the first round of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Good evening and welcome to the 7 p.m. newscast on DMR TV with me, Reverend Father Alphonse Ekema. Those were our top stories. The development of the news would be yours in a bit. We begin our news this evening in Buea Diocese, where Christians of St. Charles Lwanga Parish, Moliko, this Thursday, May 9th, joined the rest of the world in celebrating the solemnity of the Ascension, marking the start of the novena in prayer in view of Pentecost coming up. A celebration was marked with the celebration of the Holy Mass, where Christians were reminded of 3 important aspects which Jesus instructed his apostles. Menadesh worshipped at St. Charles Lwanga Parish, Moliko, and compiled for us details in the following report.
Sounds of praise, adoration and thanksgiving enveloped the church house of St. Charles Lwanga Parish, Moliko, Buea, as Christians marked the ascension of Christ into heaven. It was another moment of communion between members of the church community to participate in the Eucharistic celebration and in commemoration of the solemnity of the Ascension of Jesus Christ. Drawing inspiration from the Gospel of Mark chapter 16 verse 15 to 20, the parish priest, Reverend Father John Chamda, reminded his Christians on the 3 important tasks assigned to the apostles by Christ.
The 3 important tasks where Christ is given for the apostles. May they preach the good news, make them cast out demons, make them heal the sick, restore people to health, and give them the joy of life. And when he say una baptize them, the person where he hear una he believe, that person it will be saved.
He further invites and encourages these Christians to be witnesses and follow Christ, sticking to the truth in order to be citizens of heaven.
Our way of living is being witness to the truth. And so, when we bring this in our own daily lives, how often we be ready for stand for the truth? How often we be ready, will make the effort for work according to what is right, according to what is correct.
He also expressed satisfaction with the Christian community that turned out massively for the Eucharistic celebration despite the solemnity falling within the week.
A free day during the week, most people would have come early for the first Mass and second Mass, and I had observed during the first and the second Mass, the attendance was very, very good. But I think more people came to those Masses because they would want to go out, being a free day during the week.
On their part, the Christians of St. Charles Lwanga Parish, Moliko, Buea, underscores the significance of the solemnity on their faith in the resurrection of Christ.
It's a day to reckon with because Christ went up to heaven. And it's a day which, as a Christian, we need to know that Christ is our protector, our deliverer, and our Savior.
A day that gives us all as Christian hopes. It gives us the hope that Christ did not just come and suffer in vain. His suffering and death, after he suffered and died, he resurrected. After resurrection, he ascended into heaven.
We all as Christians should know how to live our Christian life so that one day he may also recommend all of us to go up to heaven according to the life we lived here on earth.
The Ascension of Jesus Christ, observed 40 days after Easter Sunday, marks the start of the novena of Pentecost in anticipation of the coming of the Holy Spirit.
Onto our project page, the decking phase of the Divine Mercy of the Presbytery of the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral in Moliko, which is made up of 10 apartments, requiring 3 phases to complete it, began today, the 10th of May. Today, the 10th of May, 2024. The presbytery is intended not only to house the priests living and working in that parish, but also other priests who will be working in other areas and residing in that presbytery. Nadesh May stopped by the presbytery and observed the construction project and had the following report for us.
With the ongoing projects like the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral and the Bishop Pius Hour Memorial Pastoral Center, some parishes in the Diocese of Boya are toiling the line as the Presbytery of the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral has begun the decking level. These decking phase will provide a solid and stable foundation for the roofing structure, providing a base for other roofing materials and help in distributing the weight of the roof and any additional loads evenly. Speaking to Divine Mercy Radio Television, the parish administrator who doubles as the parish priest of Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral, Reverend Father Frank Bayo, gives details of work done so far and the contribution of Christians to this project.
As you see, has not been easy, but we thank God that we have been able to sail through to this level. We started this a few months ago when I just came to this parish. We first of all began with the foundation, and then we finished the phase of the foundation. We went to the sockaway and the septic tank, and then we had to carry the walls up, and then we are at this stage of the decking. So it has taken us something like 4 or 5 months. It's a parish project as it were, because it belongs to the Christians of the Co-Cathedral, and they too have been quite supportive. They have put in a lot of money to realize this project. He
has mentioned what's next after this first phase of decking.
This project is supposed to have three phases. You know, this is the first one. The first one was the foundation, and then the septic tank, as I said, and then we have carried the blocks up, and we are at this stage, the decking stage. The next one would be to go to the second level and then to the third level, because it's a 3-story building, you know, and that's what we are doing at the moment.
It is worthy to note that this presbytery, made up of 10 apartments, will not only serve as a place to stay for the residing priest, but for every priest in the Diocese of Boya.
The regional director for the Pan-African Institute of Development has revealed that the institution will now introduce HND as well as other vocational training programs in fashion design and interior decorations as the institution prepares to celebrate its 60th anniversary. She made the revelation at the ongoing sociocultural week that is taking place at the Boya campus. Aloysius Likie was part of the sporting activities and now reports.
Socio-cultural and sporting activities characterize the opening of day 3 in the ongoing week-long socio-cultural activities at the Pan-African Institute for Development, Pedwa, Boya campus. The sporting activities saw the Boya students locking horns with their Yaoundé counterpart in the football and volleyball respectively. Colorfully dressed in their various campus attires, the students cheered their peers, all gunning for victory. After a heated but friendly encounter, the Boya boys emerged victorious at the volleyball, with the Yaoundé team very determined to grab the football trophy. The captain and coach of the Boya Pedwa volleyball team says their hard work yielded fruit and sees the sporting activities as a network through which students with developmental mindsets can connect.
I think it is an arena for us to unite ourselves, not only as those who study in Buea, but to create a family, because we don't know what tomorrow may become. We don't know where we're going to meet each other, and as developmental experts that PEDWA is preparing us to be, we are not just supposed to be minded only in the games, but social lives, because as developmental experts, we have to integrate with the society and the people that we meet in our daily activities. So I think this activity was a good idea by the director to help us promote our social skills. Some others may not only be skilled in education, but in sporting activities. So far, we have discovered many talents in our center. We didn't know we had exceptional actors, but we've discovered exceptional actors and exceptional volleyball players, as we demonstrated today. Our opponents have had a very nice spirit of fair play and togetherness. So far, we've registered 0 incidents. So I think it's very good. It's moving smoothly. We are preparing for what's coming up next, and we continue in the same line, winning in.
It's been a great week so far. Started from Tuesday when the Yaoundé and the Douala came in. It's been a great cultural week, and I'm really happy that we were able to host them, and everything is going according to plan. And we're just from taking our first victory over the boys from Yaoundé at the volleyball games, and my boys were so good. So I really congratulate them, the PEDWA Buea, for the great job they have done today. And I wish that as we're going in for the football, we shall become victorious. Thank you guys very much.
The week-long activity is equally an avenue for the Pan-African Institute for Development to showcase its programs and products, as well as bringing out the various talents instilled in the students, as they will showcase their talents in various activities, as explained to us by the director of the institution.
They are involved in different sociocultural activities. The students are going to be having football matches, volleyball matches. They will have different activities, fashion parade. They will have educative talk. They will have talk on job creation, job seeking, career orientation. They're going to have talk on psychosocial support. We know that there are a lot of people in our community now that are sick, not physically but in their mind. So we think it's a very important activity for the students to be trained on how to be mentally aware. So Pan-African Institute offers a holistic study environment where we take care of our students intellectually, emotionally, psychologically, to be able to make them a full citizen of Cameroon and ambassadors of Africa.
In a build-up to the 60th anniversary, the institution will introduce some innovations and increase the programs offered, as they have renewed their MOU with partner organizations and are ready to venture in new areas, as the director explains.
In this 60th anniversary celebration, Pan-African Institute for Development will be launching new programs. For the very first time, we are going to be doing HND programs. So this activity will mark the launch of the HND programs. We signed and renewed our MOU with the Ministry of Vocational Training. So the Pan-African Institute will be launching fully activities in the domain of vocational training. We'll be doing vocational training in interior and exterior decoration, fashion designing, agriculture. We have domains in agriculture. Currently, if you go down to our demonstration site, you will find the fish pond with almost ready catfish.
The Pan-African Institute for Development is an institution that trains peace, sustainable and developmental experts across Africa, with interventions in many nations, and is present in Nigeria, Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone and Cameroon.
On our foreign page, Chad's military leader Mahamat Déby Itno has been declared winner of this week's presidential election after a tussle with his rival, Minister Sucé Masra. And the high-level mediation talks on South Sudan were launched in Kenya, with African presidents calling for peace. Joseph Otop has details on this and more on our foreign page.
Chad's military leader Mahamat Déby Itno has been declared winner of this week's presidential election, according to the provincial result released this Thursday, in which the results were contested by his main rival, Prime Minister Sucé Masra. The national agency that manages Chad's election released results on Monday's vote weeks after earlier than planned. The figures showed Debbie Inno won with just 61% of the vote, with the runner-up Masra falling far behind with over 18.5% of the vote. Chad held its long-delayed presidential election following 3 years of military rule, a vote that analysts widely expected the incumbent to win. Debbie Inno, also known as Mahamat Idris Deby, seized power after his father, who spent 3 decades in power, was killed fighting rebels in 2021. The oil-exporting country of nearly 18 million hasn't had a free and fair transfer of power since it became independent in 1960 after decades of French colonial rule. As ahead of Thursday's announcement, Masra published a speech on Facebook accusing the authorities of planning to manipulate the outcome. As hope dwindles, authorities in South Africa race against time to rescue 44 construction workers trapped under the rubble of a collapsed building. The daunting task ahead involves moving thousands of tons of concrete with heavy machinery to search for survivors. The death toll climbed to 9 as a critically injured worker passed away in the hospital. Of the 28 workers rescued from the site, 21 were in critical condition or had life-threatening injuries following Monday's collapse of the 5-story apartment complex that was under construction. With fears that the final death toll could exceed 50, authorities in the city of George on South Africa's south coast said large earth-moving equipment had arrived and rescue teams were removing huge slabs of concrete and rubble to reach deeper into the wreckage. More than 600 personnel are involved in the rescue operation, with many brought in from nearby towns and cities. Authorities say multiple investigations are underway into the cause of the collapse, including the police, the provincial government, and the National Department of Labour. High-level mediation talks on South Sudan were launched on Thursday, May 9 in Kenya, with African presidents calling for an end to a conflict that has crippled the country's economy for years. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir thanked his Kenyan counterpart William Ruto for hosting the talks and said that his government would negotiate in good faith and with an open mind. The talks were between the government and rebel opposition groups that were not part of an 2018 agreement that ended a 5-year civil war that led 400,000 people dead. This initiative exemplifies the Pan-African policy of African solutions to the African challenges, contributing to silencing the Guns in Africa initiative and fostering an environment for transformational development in South Sudan, the region, and the entire African continent.
On to our sports page, Mark Breeze, head coach of the national team, has released a 31-man provisional list to play Angola and Cape Verde in June for the first round of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The list released today was after the press conference held on this day, and the list has a lot of new faces, which Hilarion Clinton has gone into to be able to give us for our newscast this evening. Let us have his report.
The press conference held by Mark Breeze, the head coach of the national team of the Indomitable Lions, this Friday, May 8, 2024, saw the Belgian tactician releasing a 31-man squad list to defend the colours of the national team as Cameroon plays Angola and Cape Verde in June, counting for the first round of FIFA qualifiers. Johnson Chua, winger for Italian's Serie A club Hellas Verona, is one of the new faces in the list. He was called up in March 2023 to represent the under-23 national team of Cameroon. Dibango Yamberi, defender at Kribas Kia, is another newcomer. He was a player of the month in July and August in the Ukraine Premier League for the 2023-2024 football season. Guy Maxeline Kilama, 1999 Douala-born and defender in the Super League club, is another player called up by Mark Breeze. In 2019, he was summoned to represent the under-23 national team of Cameroon. James Amal Eto'o, 19 November 2000 born, who plays for Botef League in French, is another figure at the defense line. At the milieu de terrain is Carlos Num Balema, Premier League club central and defensive midfielder in Brighton. Roy Danzebe Sanda, midfielder at Qatar SC is another new midfielder who could not escape the eyes of Mark Breeze. He has played 11 matches and a single goal in his record book. 2 local players called up are John Bosco Chando, Young Sports Academy captain and top goal scorer of the just ended MTN Elite 1 season, and Julius Amenku. He is a 24-year-old. He is a complete scorer and a former resident of Stade Renard de Melon. He has an extraordinary finishing quality, and thus these two warrant the call of Mark Breeze. Didier Lamkel, forward at League One club Mies on loan from Turkish club Hastaspor, 27 years of age, is another newcomer at the attack line. He will be blending with other old figures. All of these blends mixing with some of the old figures who are making their return into the national teams in the likes of Fai Collins, Christian Basegog, Chuku Morton will of course give Cameroonians the results they are anxiously waiting for come June 2024. However, the shambolic outing of Fecafoot and the Ministry of Sport remain an uncertainty in the football landscape of Cameroon.
Those were our top stories. That is what we prepared for you on the 8 p.m. newscast or on the 7 p.m. newscast on DMR TV. But before we take leave of you, let us have a recap of our top stories. The Presbytery of the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral under construction takes on a new phase with decking beginning today. The 10-apartment structure will undergo 3 phases. And in sports, Mark Breeze, head coach of the national team, has released a 31-man provisional list to play Angola and Cape Verde in June in the first round of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. For presentation, I have been Reverend Father Alphonse Ekema, urging you to stay tuned for much more interesting programs on DMR TV. See you next week.